Motorists could face two-way tolls when they travel on the Sydney Harbour Bridge and be charged less the longer they travel, as recommended by this long-awaited review looking at the toll system. Let's bring in our New South Wales political reporter, Julia Bradley. Julia, for our viewers watching around the country, this is a red-hot issue, isn't it, in Sydney, New South Wales more broadly, Sydney particularly?
It's a major issue in New South Wales, Kieran, and this report really confirms what a lot of people in Sydney already know, that our tolls are super expensive and they're only set to get worse. This report suggests that government intervention is needed in order to help ease the price pain for motorists. Now, Sydney is one of the most tolled cities in the world, and one of the reasons that our tolls are so high is that there's largely a monopoly on our toll road network. So there are 13 toll roads, 11 of them owned and operated by private company Transurban. Now, this report, which has been looking at Sydney's toll network, it's been put together by the former chair of the ACCC, Alan Fells, and it points out a number of reasons why our tolls are so high and also makes a series of recommendations. Now, according to this report, over the next 37 years, motorists will pay $195 billion on tolls if nothing changes. WestConnex accounting for about 52% of that figure. According to the report, users will pay 3 times the cost of the WestConnex scheme just in tolls. Now, this report also makes note of the fact that toll road prices have all been set separately, so there's an inconsistency. There are really long toll contracts lasting 30 to 40 years, so preventing flexibility to adapt prices. Also making note of a lack of transparency in the toll setting process. Here was the Premier's reaction to this report.
The report is sobering for the motorists of Sydney. In many respects, it confirms what everybody has already suspected. Sydney is one of the most tolled cities on earth, and that toll burden is falling disproportionately on families and motorists, and it's making it nearly impossible for many people to use the city that they love, to get to work, to see family and friends, to use roads that they've used for a long period of time.
So this interim report makes a series of recommendations. They're just draft recommendations at this stage, but all designed to change the network so that the financial burden is more evenly distributed across different toll roads. So firstly, the recommendation is for tolls to be charged on a decreasing cost per kilometre basis. So the longer motorists drive, the greater the savings. It also proposes an extra infrastructure charge for those using major tunnels or the Harbour Bridge. It suggests motorists could face two-way tolls when they travel on the Harbour Bridge and Eastern Distributor, allowing extra tolling revenue to be used to lower charges across the motorway system. It recommends reduced charges for motorcycles and towed recreational vehicles. And Kieran, the big recommendation from this report, the establishment of a state-owned tolling entity known as Tollco, which would allow the state government to set tolls under new legislation rather than under individual concession agreements. But Alan Fells denying that this is essentially putting a gun to the head of Transurban.
We are very worried about so-called toll saturation. That is, motorists face such big toll bills, they'll stop using toll roads and add to congestion on non-toll roads. So we believe initially restructure the tolls without motorists paying more.
The report notes that reform is going to be incredibly difficult and take a really long time, but the hope is to get more competition into the network. The final recommendations will be handed down later this year. Kieran?
Julia, thank you.